Good morning.
Oh, happy Friday morning, everyone.
Jacqueline is in a frazzled
Hope
state.
you're not as frazzled as me. Sorry. I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, everyone, because I'm leaving in 2 hours to go to Dallas for the weekend for a client's video and photo shoot. So I'm going to be working all weekend. And so I've been trying to work today, pack, get ready to go, talk to all you lovely basketball fans. Just all the things, you know?
Yeah, you've been a busy bee, and it's only 11 o'clock in the morning. So
Only 11.
only 11. But for some, I mean, you've already done a million different things.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, have been lounging around because for once I don't have to go into physical work today. So
That is very nice.
yeah, it doesn't happen often, but when it does, I will take 100% advantage of it. And today is one of those
Totally.
days. So I'm drinking out of this is still my Halloween coffee mug, but here we are.
There we go. Forgot to turn my light on.
Yeah.
Hi.
Now I can see you. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, yeah, no, we're going to go into the game on Monday night, talk about, if you're new here, normally we go into kind of general history and background info about us and the team that we play. We'll go into just general game notes. Jacqueline will go into all the stats and stuff and really kind of talk about the different, points in the paint, turnovers, all the fun stuff. And then we'll just kind of give our analysis, things that we thought they did really well, things that they thought maybe could have done a little bit better. But again, it's the first game of the year. Take everything that we say with a grain of salt because it's the first game of the year. And here we go. Already, Kitty magic is happening. Which one?
McGonagall, anyone who watches us know how spoiled they are. Literally, what's today? Friday, Tuesday. So this past weekend, I went to NAC on Sunday and came back Monday night after the game. I was literally gone all of 1.5 days. And they were so needy when I got home. The Tuesday, I'm on a Zoom with the client that we're doing the shoot for this weekend. And Scotty is coming in the room meowing with a toy in his mouth, trying to get attention.
Needy.
And I'm like, let me just mute myself for a second here while my cat
has a meltdown.
Tries to be the star of the show.
Typical. All right. Well, Jacqueline has a busy day. I have a busy day as well. So let's just jump right into this so that we are not taking up too much of each other's and y'all's time. So, Jacqueline, let's get it going. General history and background info.
Here we go. So this was our first time playing University of Dallas.
Yeah.
They're a private Catholic university in Irving, Texas, established in 1956. It's accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. I think their enrollment's like around 2,000. It's pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
So I read two conflicting things. I saw that they're D3 and a member of the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference, but then I also saw somewhere else that they have like provisional acceptance as D2. So maybe they're in the middle of transition. I don't know.
That would make a lot of sense.
But okay, I guess for now they're D3.
Gotcha. Well, that makes sense. And because I'm going to be honest with you, watching them play, I was like, this is like, they're not half bad. So you know what I mean? So I was like, I was shocked that they were D3. And then when you said, no, I think they're D2, I'm like, oh, well, that would make more sense. I mean, the fact that they're clearly a lot better than what I was expecting. Yeah. Which is good on them. So that's awesome. Yeah. And this is the first time we've ever played them. I don't even know what their mascot is. Did you happen to see that whenever we were?
Oh man, when I rewatched it, they said it. Now I can't remember what it was. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't even honestly recognize it on their jerseys or anything. So I honestly couldn't tell you. Okay. Well, while she's looking that up, I will quickly and very summarizingly tell you that Just yes, that word. See, I'm still waking up. Let me finish my coffee, and then I can actually speak like a human being.
Crusaders. That makes sense as they're Catholic.
Crusaders. Yeah, that does check out. Okay, cool. Crusaders. I do like that name. That's a cool name. So now that we're back in the Southland, obviously I have to completely erase all my notes on the WAC team standings and totally pull up a whole different website, which I realized that about 3 seconds before we started. So I quickly pulled it up.
I meant to replace that on the notes, and I typed it in, but I didn't link it.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't link it either because I, again, totally just spaced. And I was like, oh, I already have them saved on my computer in my, podcast folder at the top of my screen. And so when I clicked on it, I was like, do, and I was like, oh God, it's all still WAC stuff. And so I had to quickly change it over to Southland. So obviously, two things. First of all, not everyone in the Southland has played their first game yet. And so the only people that have played a game so far would be obviously us, Houston Christian, Lamar, Northwestern, Southeastern, and McNeese. The rest of the league hasn't. Well, they have some of them have played, and then some have already lost. So, which is crazy. So, the only team that hasn't played anything yet would be UIW, and then A&M Corpus Christi, New Orleans, Nichols, and I'm gonna pause there. Those teams have already played and they've already lost a game. And then the bottom two teams have already played 2 games and lost 2 games and already. I'm like, we just started.
Wow.
I know. So UT RGV has already played twice and lost twice. And join me in this like collective groan and dumb. Texas A&M Commerce has decided to change their name to East Texas A&M. And now this is karma. They've already lost 2 games. And
it's like, what did that achieve? The A&M's still there.
I'm sorry. No, actually, I'm not sorry. They are not East Texas. They're not. They're not.
All they did is add East to the name.
Thank you.
I thought the A&M was the whole like bug in their ass. So I don't understand.
Right. I just, it really burns my biscuits, and I don't know why. Like it's such a small thing, but like they're not East Texas. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not.
And being from East Texas, that's not East Texas.
No. And that's the thing. I'm not even from East Texas originally, and it irritates me. Like, you're not East Texas. You're an hour from Dallas, bro. Like, call me when you're a spitting distance from the Louisiana border, and you're not. You know what I mean? Like, then we can call you East Texas A&M.
When you can get to Louisiana faster than Dallas, then you can be East Texas.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're not even deep East Texas. We're just East Texas. There are deeper places than us. That sounded really bad, but I'm just going to let that slide by.
That's what she said.
Really for that. I'm sorry. But yeah, so anyway, I feel like that's karma. And again, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of friends and mutual acquaintances that work at Texas A&M Commerce, now East Texas A&M. So, and I think they're obviously a really great school, but I don't understand the changing of the name. I guess they got butthurt when they saw that we joined UT system and we didn't have to change their name, but that when they joined the A&M system, they had to change their name. So now they're just like, well, if SFA could do it, we're going to do it.
But it makes them look even more dumb that the A&M part's still there.
I know. Yeah. Like, we don't have to have UT in our name.
Yeah.
So dumb. It's so dumb. Mm-hmm. Now they have to go through the extremely expensive and lengthy process of having to change all of their stuff. Everything.
Rebranding everything.
Everything. Like, you think it's expensive to change logos from WAC to Southland Conference. Okay. Try changing the entirety of your school branding.
Name. Yeah.
Oh, that's just wild. Anyway, and plus you do it like the school year's even already started. Like,
yeah,
you should have done this in the summer. Anyway, I'm going off tangent on this, but it's just thank you, Jim. Nothing about Commerce is East Texas. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Anyway, We'll move off that. I knew I was going to get on a tangent. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, maybe they haven't updated on the website. Oh, yep. Nope. They've already done it. And it really, really pissed me off already this morning. So
As soon as they got that green light, they had to do what little they could.
yeah, I was like, maybe the Southland Conference is just maybe a little slow and they haven't updated. Nope. They already have. Anyway, should have known better. But yeah, so and we don't have to worry about resume seating in the
Thank
Southland.
God. Thank God.
Because I was about to again pull up the resume seating, and I'm like, wait, we don't have to worry about resume seating in the Southland as of yet.
I cannot tell y'all how happy I am to not have to deal with that stupid idea.
I know. Okay, so that's all I have for standings.
Okay.
We can take that off our notes. We don't have to worry about that anymore.
All right. So game notes. General, our starters, we had returning players of Matt, Nana, Cece, and Clayton. And then we had one of our new players who's a freshman, Dominic Pangonis.
And he wasn't, when we did our pre-season podcast, that was a name that neither of us said.
Yeah, had no idea.
That threw us for a loop. Whenever we saw him get into the starters position, I was like,
yeah, we were both like elbowing each other. I mean, surprise, just because we haven't seen any of them play. We don't know.
And he's a freshman.
But
it was unexpected.
Surprised. We'll get there. We did win 85-51. The attendance was 1,632. Not great, but bear in mind this was Monday night. So Sean Kennedy's stat section, our field goal percentage, we had 46.75%. Not bad. For first game. 3-point percentage, not too high, 18.18. But I will say the threes that went in looked nice. Very nice. Free throws, 60%.
Not bad.
Definitely
the second half, but
yeah.
Yeah. And to be fair, our 3-point percentage was okay first. I mean, it was 30% in the first half, but yeah.
The second half was not as pretty as the first half. But I'm not going to gripe about that too much.
Yeah.
Because, Dad said it after the game, and I do agree. Anytime you play a team that's, and listen, they are quite a bit below us, D3, but they were scrappy and they did not give up. And when you play a team that's quite a bit below you, but has the fight, it makes for somewhat of a sloppy game.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I mean, they don't have anything to lose. So
no, they're here to potentially get an upset. They're here to get good practice in. And you're right. They were extremely scrappy. Like they were fast. They kept up with us on defense 100%. Like, again, that's why in the beginning of the podcast, like I was pretty shocked at how well they played versus, a D1 mid-major team. So
yeah,
good on them. DDT did comment on Twitter, and for some reason it didn't pop up here. I don't know why, but he did say, look out for UTRGV. They looked good against a ranked Crichton team.
Mm-mm.
So that's interesting to note because in the past couple years, UTRGV has been, no offense, subpar at the very bottom of the standings. So, okay, interesting.
We'll see.
Now I'm not concerned, but
curious
is better. Let's say that. Okay, good.
All right. Points on the paint where we like it. 64.
I love that. The PIP being over 50 makes my heart smile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Points off turnovers. We had 28. Second chance points. We had 23. Fast break points, 20. Bench points, also very happy with, and I will come back to this in my feats of strength. We had 59 bench points.
Yeah. I will also talk about that. We will talk about that together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total rebounds, we had 59, which sounds super, super high. But I will point out they had 43, not to like slide on us any. I'm just saying we kind of both put up a lot of shots.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, looking at how many shots they took as well, I mean, come on. They had a lot of shots. So it was going to be a high rebounding game for both teams.
Yeah. So out of that, we had 19 offensive boards and 40 defensive boards. We had 21 fouls, which is about average for us.
Yeah.
We had 19 turnovers, which is not where we love it, but first game. And they were almost dead even with us on turnovers. They had 21.
Yeah.
We did have 16 steals and 8 blocks, which is very high. Our game leaders, we had Chris Johnson leading the way he had something in every column, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. We had Miles with 14 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 1 steal, something in every column as well. Tierno was this close to a double-double, 9 points, 9 rebounds, 1 steal.
Yeah, that continue. Sorry, I'll come up with that in a minute.
We had Matt with 8.6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 4 steals. Also had something in every column. And Dominic also 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 1 steal. It did list that he had 5 fouls, and I don't remember specifically him fouling out, but I know that he was in foul trouble for most of the game.
That is very true.
I mean, he had 3 fouls in the first half, so.
Yeah, he had a bunch of Okay. So player of the games, they didn't do like a player of the game announcement during the game or at the end of the game, which they normally do.
No.
There was a lot. I'll never mind. I'll pause that until I get to my grievances. But yeah, so that was kind of weird. But anyway, so our players of the game. So Jax had a couple. I just put one just because I was just so proud of this guy for making an amazing comeback, considering last year it was so up and down and roller coaster. And honestly, it just made my heart burst on a very emotional day that Miles came back. And first of all, not only he had 14 points. I mean, he played almost, I'm not going to say the whole game, but he played he played 19 minutes. And that's double, triple of what he probably played all season. You know what I mean? Like, and we could see it towards the end of last season, how amazing Miles can be when he's healthy and when he's, in the game and playing and going 100 miles a minute. And so Miles, you're my player of the game. I think you are an amazing player, an amazing, amazing kid. And I cannot wait to see what you do the rest of the season. Like if you can put up these types of numbers every game, ecstatic. Yeah.
I co-sign 100%. So happy to see him healthy. We will point out that we talk with Miles' parents a lot, especially his mom. But as soon as the game started, because we had been told that he'd been wearing a helmet in practice, and I'm like, I knew Alex was messaging with his mom. I'm like, where's his helmet? Tell her, ask her where it is. Like, we know she's watching, so we don't tell her he's not wearing it. But I'm like, where is it? She did let us know that he only has to wear that for practice.
We were getting very.
I was concerned. Yeah,
we were sitting there the whole time. I was like, Jacqueline, I swear to God, like I'm about to go mama bear mode. Where is his, concussion helmet? Whatever the term is, I don't even know what the term is of that headgear. Anyway, and when his mom replied back that he only has to wear that in practice, I felt better. But still, every time he went up for a ball and like hit the court, or there was a couple times he actually fell onto the court.
He did go down one time that. I think Cece and someone else came over and helped him up, and we're like
my entire body tensed up, and I feel like I think I might have grabbed Jacqueline's leg, and I was like, ugh! Because it was just because we know how hard he plays and like how much he wants to be out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just getting.
It's how we felt last year with Nana. 100%. Even. 100%. When we did our preseason thing this season and I asked Keller how he is, he's like, oh, he's fine. And I'm like, I understand that it's been a while, but we still just like.
We get nervous.
Little nagging, worry and concern in the back of our
head. For some reason, it doesn't say who this is that commented, but middle of the day podcast. Love it. Miss you guys. Miss you too. Don't know who said this. If you have either of our numbers, text us because I'm not sure who this is for some reason.
Us on Facebook or something.
Maybe it's Kyle. I don't know. If it is McDonald, what's up, dude? But it doesn't say. So anyway, But yeah, Jacqueline, I co-signed both of your player of the games too. So go ahead and tell us about them.
So for mine, general, I'm going to say Chris. I mean, he was leading in almost every stat, had every stat. He was incredible to watch. I will get to my points on him when we get to feats of strength. And I will also say, Dad and I were talking last night because he called to ask me about something else, which I'll get to. But I still hadn't watched Keller's preseason press conference. I'm just always bad about keeping up on those.
And I forgot about it, to be fair.
Yeah. But apparently Chris is like moving back in slowly from an injury as well.
Ooh, okay.
So that may be because I was kind of expecting him to start. So that may be kind of why
okay.
he started and didn't just play a whole lot of minutes. But
he played 16 minutes and still was a leading scorer, which
he looked great. And I'll get to my points on that.
He's super. Yeah. So I guess it is Kyle McDonald, our dude, our favorite WEC hoop shredder. We miss you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. CJ is going to be the key for us beating McNeese. DDT. Between him, okay, I'm gonna. We're skipping ahead to our feats of strength here, but yeah.
And my other one's just my personal, like, I am so proud of him. I have to mention him. Is Davion. Man,
I know.
I'm not even kidding. Like, we just love him so much. And I'm obviously a little biased towards him. His freshman year, he sat at the table that my dad's friends were at Meet the Jacks. And we just loved him. And I think my dad's very partial to Davion specifically because I think Davion reminds him a lot of him when he played.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very similar like height and build and playing style.
Right.
And I'll get to all of my points on Davion when I get to feats of strength. But literally everything about his playing style I think is very similar to how my dad played. And he redshirted his first year, and then last year just didn't get a whole lot of playing time at all. And so to see him play 12 minutes and look so good. I was so proud because my dad and I've been saying, for years, like he just needs a few more minutes out there on the court and he's going to look good, and he looked fantastic. And I'm so proud of him. I'm so happy for him. I know he's had a very good attitude about not, about redshirting and not getting a lot of playing time. So I was really, it makes you even more happy when someone like that is a team player about it and has a good attitude about it. And then when they get their moment, they make the most of it. And so
right. Those are the players that deserve it more. And also it really shows a lot of commitment and dedication to your school too, because let's be fair, Davion could have transferred. You know what I mean? Not saying he was going to, but like, he could have easily transferred to a team and been, starting player last year. You know what I mean? Like
he could have transferred down to a smaller school and definitely been starting.
100%. And the fact that he stayed and is bought into the system, and he's here and he's grinding and he's playing hard and playing for, double-digit minutes, which is unheard of for him, and looking good out there. And again, like, were there moments that were like, but he hasn't played that many minutes since he's been here. So he's just now getting into a routine and playing against not his, teammates. He's
in practice.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm just really pleased for him. I'm so excited. And I know, like, we're very partial to these boys that have been here for so long. Obviously, I mean, no offense to the new guys, but like,
we'll get there with you too.
We will, yeah. But it's just, when you see someone come in as a freshman and they've been here and they've grinded and they've worked hard, and Davion's like, he's bulked up, like
yes.
When I saw him on the court, when he got on the court, I was like, he looks like I don't know. Like, I know it sounds horrible. Like, he looks like a man. Like, he's grown up before our eyes, and it's wild, Yeah,
the pictures that he posted the other day on Instagram.
Yeah.
you can tell the strength and conditioning is working.
100%, which is amazing.
Yeah, and it shows a lot of commitment to his teammates as well. And that's what I love about this group the most is you can really tell they
mesh well.
they're a team unit and they all get along and mesh well, and we just love to see that.
Yeah, which to be fair, that rolls right into feats of strength. You know what I mean? So, 100% for me is this team camaraderie and their togetherness and how much they really do get along with each other. I know we've probably said that in the past, but it's very evident how much they are playing for each other and supporting each other. And I really love that. It's a huge feat of strength for me. I feel like that's a strength for any team. It doesn't matter if it's basketball, football. It doesn't matter what sport, especially if it's a team sport. If they're playing together and you could tell that they're being selfless, and they're here for the win. They're here for the W. I mean, personal goals, great, wonderful, love it. But you can tell that this team really, truly wants to succeed as a group. And so I love to see that.
Same.
Yeah. Another big feat of strength for me is how deep our team is.
It's amazing.
I mean, yeah, last year we had a really deep team.
Let's knock on wood here because
last year we had a very deep team. Literally every single person who was stressed out played. Every single person. Whether it was from 1 minute to 27 minutes. I'm trying to see who had the most time. It was CC. Everybody played that was stressed out. And every single person can contribute to the team, which I think is amazing. I mean, come on. Ethan with that 3 at the end, give me a break. I mean,
Ethan and Luke each only got 1 minute. Ethan made a 3, and we know Luke can. He just didn't get an open shot.
Right, exactly.
So every single one of them,
every single one of them,
thrilled to see on the court. Like I'm not like, oh, okay, this is just a minute or something.
Right, exactly. Another big thing for me is Dominic. That boy, again, now I see why he started.
Yeah.
He fouled a lot.
He's a very aggressive player. I jokingly said during the game, I said he's going to be Nate Bain with the fouls because pretty much every game Nate used up 4 or 5 of his.
All of them. Yeah, there are so many times that he was
foul left.
Yeah, he was fouled out by like 10 minutes left in the second. Like he was done. He had to go sit down. And you know what? Fine. He all 5 of those fouls were worthy fouls. So I'll take them.
At least he didn't foul out in the Duke game.
100%. Could you
and that was overtime too. That was extra.
Right. Shocking that he was still able to be in the game during that. I know. But yeah, Dominic is a force. Not only is he a great outside shooter, which we saw, but he also is good at defense too. I mean, he was all over the place. Yeah, that's why he fouled so much.
And I mean, he only had 1 steal, but he was definitely applying defensive pressure.
He had blocks in there. I mean,
he is very nice. Couple of rebounds, some assists. He had an and 1. He looked good.
He looked good. That's what I'm saying. Like as a freshman, and I know always people are like, well, just because you're a freshman doesn't mean anything. But listen, like you're a freshman. The fact that you started is a big tip in the cap. And if that's how you played your first game of the season as a freshman, I can only imagine what you're going to do throughout the rest of the season.
And he's played some high level stuff. I haven't read through all their bios yet, but when I rewatched the game, the announcers mentioned that he played on some kind of elite like Nike youth team or something in Canada. And he was he was in the top 3 scorers like of the league or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's played at in some high level games. So
well, it's so obvious. I mean, it's obvious just how intelligent his basketball IQ is on the court was astounding. And again, that sometimes it's very much like an innate thing, like you either got or you don't. Or it's something that you just develop over time. And so I really think that has helped a lot. with him playing at those elite levels and those elite teams. And that's what I'm saying. I'm just really excited. Like that's a huge strength for me. And I know for you and the rest of Lumberjack Nation.
Oh yeah.
Having someone that skilled as a freshman, and the main thing is just A, keeping him healthy, B, making sure that we retain him from season to season too, just to see him develop over time. That's a huge thing. And then, on to CJ. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so man, I have so many notes on him.
Go ahead, tell us.
The first thing, his court vision and like basketball IQ was amazing. I mean, just he was seeing things that it was obvious no one else had even seen yet. Like there was one fantastic pass he made to Matt for a backdoor layup, and even Matt usually is very aware.
Yeah, Matt's great at that as well.
And it hadn't even like popped into his head yet. He kind of fumbled it and didn't get the. So anyway, his court vision is amazing. He made some great passes. His drives one-on-one. I don't know how many people will see who can beat him one-on-one.
No.
He can shoot a three. He had a reverse layup put back off of a rebound on his own shot.
Some of those drives he was making, it was really reminding me a lot of like Kevon, maybe a little bit of like, dare I say it, like Thomas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just court presence, finding the holes and driving to the basket, and nobody can stop him. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, and his size for his position is like perfect too, because I mean, obviously we outsized University of Dallas, but I think we're still going to be at least a little bit bigger than probably most of the teams we play in the Southland.
Right. And and I want to take time too to kind of, and I haven't done it yet. It's just been such a crazy like off season. I just have not had time to like do the due diligence and research on the rest of the Southland, just because we got so used to the WAC teams and like knowing who was on it. Yeah. And now going back, now I'm having to catch back up. But I really want to look at the rest of the rosters throughout the Southland and just kind of see what kind of size and what we're up against at these different games. But obviously we have a little time because conference hasn't started yet, but excited about the size that we have going into, the rest of these non-conference games and specifically conference. Did you have more on Chris?
No.
Okay. Another big shout out and feat of strength for me, and I know Jacqueline will also co-sign this, is our sweet baby boy, Jelani. Not only is he just precious and such a dynamic and passionate player, but the fact that, and this is not necessarily about him, but about his family, the fact that his family, his parents, his sister, all of them moved from Arizona, right?
Mm-hmm.
Moved from Arizona to Nacogdoches for his final season so that they wouldn't miss a thing is, okay, don't get emotional, Alex. That is just selfless, and that's love. There's nothing else. Like, it's
so amazing. We love them being here. And I talked to them night at the game, and they actually said, we like it so much. We're going to stay after he graduates, even if he moves. We love it here.
And that makes me so happy, like so happy. They're amazing people. They're going to be, they're already ingrained into the Nacogdoches community even before they moved here, just because everybody, they've come to visit and, they've met us and my parents and a bunch of other people. And they feel at home here. And I can't wait to do more things with them and hang out and, have them over for dinner and all they're amazing people and they're so loving and caring. And again, the fact that they moved from Arizona to Nacogdoches so they wouldn't miss a minute of their son's home games, that makes me so emotional. I don't know why. I'm just an emotional bag of bones lately. I don't know. That made me so emotional for them. Yeah. And so happy for Jelani and of course Savannah too. And I love that. I really love that. So that's a huge feat of strength. And we just gained 3 more amazing Lumberjack fans and Nacogdoches community members. And I'm just so excited for that.
Me too. We loved Jelani, and he looked really good Tuesday night too.
This is from Kyle, obviously. I don't know why it doesn't say his name, but it's from Kyle.
Good notes about CJ. I agree with some of the comparisons. Kind of like Walkup minus the ability to play the 4 slot. Should be huge at the 2 and 3. Can't wait to see KT and CJ playing with CC and Stone. Agreed. So also note on KT, and he's referring to Keon Thompson.
Yeah.
So of course Keon didn't play Tuesday night. He's currently injured. We're thinking like 1 to 2 weeks he'll be back. Too. But
yeah,
I'm very excited to see him because, as we said in our last podcast episode, he's the only one who got voted for a Southland Conference preseason honor.
Correct.
Team. So
I'm
see him.
Stoked to see him play. And you know what? And you know, I'd rather, and I know this sounds crazy, but like I'd rather him be injured now than later. I know that sounds so wild. I don't want anybody to be injured, but if I had a choice, it would be now instead of during conference. So just keep on keeping on with the rehab, listen to the doctors, don't come back before you're ready, because if you do, you're just going to re-injure yourself and that'll just make it worse. I know it's hard to sit there on the bench and not be in the game, but at this point, you're better off just being there for the team on the bench than trying to get in the game too early. And because we've seen that. And again, I love all these boys so much, but like sometimes they come back too soon from injury and then they freaking re-injure themselves even worse. And then they're really out. So, and I just like, what's the point of that? Like, you're not helping the team at that point at all, you know? So, but yeah, we talked to Doc and he pretty much said about 2-ish weeks, maybe sooner, just kind of depending on how he does with the rest of the rehab. So, and again, this is why we sit where we sit, people, because we have gotten to know all of these people. And so it's not weird when we like grab the team doctor and we're like, hey, what's
going on?
What's the prognosis? What's the timeline? And he just looks at us and giggles and just, and just tells us like it's nothing. So, but yeah, I think we're good with KT. We just got to give him a few more weeks ish to rehab that and be back. But yeah, totally agreed.
Very
about that. Super excited. What other feats of strength do you got?
So my few notes on Davion, I just got to say, and like I already said, I'm so proud of him, but just everything he does is so good, and he just needed time in the game. He's a great ball handler. Mm-hmm. He makes great passes. He is fast. The announcers kept commenting on that. He plays great defense. They called him pesky on defense because, I mean, he was just like, he was lightning fast everywhere. He has a beautiful shot. That deep 3 that he made, they replayed it twice whenever I rewatched the game. Like they replayed it right then, and then when we came back from halftime, they played it as a best play from the first half.
Yeah.
And he got a lot of rebounds too. He got, for his size, he got 3 rebounds.
Love to see it.
Okay, so Miles, your player of the game. Beautiful reverse layup. He had two spectacular tomahawk dunks.
Oh my God, his dunks. I had to take a moment after the dunks. I literally, first of all, after the first one, I called him a monster. Like, how dare you? On the first game of the year to these sweet little D2, D3 players, how dare you? And then on the second one, not only did he did it once, but he did it twice. And I was like, okay, these people have families they have to go home to. They have to, they have to atone for this at some point. Like Miles. And then when we were talking to his parents afterwards on social media, I was like, your boy's a monster. And I loved it. They called him Agent Zero on socials, like from SFA basketball and the athletics department. They called him Agent Zero. So I kind of want to call him that, but it's catchy. It's good. But yeah, he came with a vengeance. I think he really wanted to show and prove himself in this game.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he did.
and just happy to be back out there. He also had a ton of great drives.
He did.
Very similar to what I said about Chris. I mean, he
Mhm.
one-on-one can take just about anybody.
Oh, for sure. He is so athletic. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we talk about Nate all the time because we love him, but like one thing about Nate, he can get from one end of the court to the other in no time flat. He was just fast and athletic. He could jump, he got hops. Miles can jump. He has a insane vertical. It's wild. He's fast, he's quick, he's athletic. And you're right. It's hard. It's really going to be really hard to go one-on-one with him when he's driving into the basket because he's very, very, very good at that movement, you know. Oh, who did the Euro step? I think that was CJ, but I
Yes.
don't know if it was
Yeah,
Miles.
yeah,
It might have been CJ, but yeah, that was disgusting. But I know we're talking about Miles.
that's all right.
Yeah.
Another player that can jump so high it just defies all physics and is also athletic CC.
Yes. Oh, there are so many guys to talk about. We're gonna go for so long. CC, I've called CC a bad man for the past 2 seasons now. He's insanity. He's
insane. Okay, I'll try to make my last few quick. Matt, just as always, great defense, stellar energy.
Yeah.
Putbacks. He had so many putbacks.
Yeah. He's just so reliable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to, when I see Matt in the lineup or just when he goes in I don't have to worry.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, he just knows what he's doing.
Clayton, from last year, even he looked stronger in the lane than we've ever seen him, and he was quick on defense. He has slimmed a little and toned a little more than last season, and he was fast on defense. He very nearly got a steal and almost fell on Danny Merrill out of bounds.
That is right. He did do that. He did.
A few of our new players, Keith. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, yeah, please I want to talk about, at least for a second, Tierno, Keenan, and Keith for sure.
So Keith had a great drive in and one. He just looked really good. Can't wait to see more from him. You have a note on him?
No, that was literally what I was going to say. Was he only played for 9 minutes or so? But I mean, in those 9 minutes, he scored 3 points. He had a free throw in there, which he made. I can't wait to see more of Keith. I think he has a lot more to give.
Yeah. Tierno sat with us at Meet the Jack, so he's one of our faves out of the new guys just because we've sat and chatted with him.
Yeah.
He had a great slam. Disgusting dunk.
Yeah, he definitely made up for a few missteps with that dunk. Yeah. And he, you know what? Again, first game of the season, I'm gonna let it pass, let it slide. Yeah. I'm very proud of him for not giving up. And my biggest note on Tierno was his hairstyles throughout the game.
They're constantly evolving.
They were constantly changing. I don't know if anybody who was watching from home could tell, but he came out into the game with one hairstyle, like half side of his hair was down and then the other half was like on a side pony. And then throughout the game, it just kept changing. And by the end, he had like this front like pony up with his braids. And I was like, as the game progresses, his hair just continually changes.
He's gonna show off all of his looks.
I know. He was just running through them all in one time. It was funny. I enjoy Tierno. I've seen glimpses in practice of him, and he is a good outside shooter. He just needs the opportunity. He tried one, I think, and he just wasn't set. He tried to rush it, and so I feel like he just needs to take a little bit more time. He tried to actually, but yeah.
Agreed. Nana also had a disgusting dunk. They did give him a tech for. He did pull up a little bit on the.
He did, but God.
Anywho, last new player to make a note on, Keenan. We didn't get to see a whole lot of him, but he did play 9 minutes. It's pretty decent, and he did have some great ball handling and drives. And he's only a freshman, so I'm excited to see him more as well.
Agreed. Okay. Moving on to. Oh, do you have the video?
No.
Oh, crap. Okay, hold on. Pause.
I did link it for you right there, though. I just didn't pull it up.
Begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it. You.
All right. Sorry. It was taking forever to load. But yeah, we got some grievances. And like I said at the very beginning, take what we say. It's the first game with a grain of salt. Please do not misunderstand. These are just observations.
Yeah, they're very small things that we know we will probably not be seeing from these guys further on in the season, but it's what we saw Tuesday night.
And big disclaimer. Everything that we say, there's a 99.9% 999 chance that they've already heard this from the coaches.
Oh, yeah. It's actually all stuff that I guarantee you every single one of them knows the second they did it, that they did it. Exactly. And so we know they're aware. We know it's stuff we're not going to see often after today, but it's what happened in Tuesday's game. So
100 Monday's game.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I keep saying Tuesday. Anyhow.
It's okay. It's been a week. Go ahead.
My first grievance is with the announcers. The ESPN announcers need to learn how to pronounce our guys' names. They were pronouncing many of them wrong. They kept saying Tierno's last name. They were just adding in extra letters. They kept saying Tierno's last name as Celia, and I'm like, I don't know where you're getting the IA. It's not Celia. It's Scylla. And they both mispronounced Nana's name, which I get. It's difficult. Go ask someone. Like, you're here. Go ask someone how to say it. One of them, I can't even remember how he said it. It wasn't that bad.
It's supposed to be our announcers. Like, home. Were they not ours?
I didn't know. I didn't recognize them.
Okay, well, that's because Chase isn't doing it anymore.
Yeah, no, I didn't recognize any of these guys. So I figured either of the guys. So I figured they were like.
That's why it wasn't as crisp and clean, because Chase was not on the call.
So were those ESPN guys, or are they SFA people?
I'm assuming it's SFA people. I'm assuming. I don't know, but it's even worse if it's SFA people.
Yeah, then they don't know how to say their names, because one of them kept saying Antwi Boycinco, and I'm like, where's the N coming from?
Oh, Jesus God.
Where's the N?
Sorry, I'm laughing at the DMs I'm getting from our favorite cat fan. The first one says, does Coach Keller submit his list of grievances post-game?
I'm sure he does in the locker room.
I'm sure he does in the locker room, too.
I'm sure they know what the grievances are. I am positive.
That's on there. Yeah.
There was literally one point in the game I turned to Alex and said a grievance, and then literally Keller called a timeout, and they came over, and it was the first thing out of his mouth. And I'm like,
see, we know we're talking about people. Validation. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. So to be fair, I don't know if it was our guys, SFA, ESPN people, or actual ESPN. I'm assuming it was our SFA people on the ESPN call. That's what I'm assuming. I don't know, because I know Chase isn't doing it anymore. He told me. And 2, GB, George isn't here anymore. So I don't know who's doing ESPN stuff.
Yeah, I don't either.
So I couldn't give you answers on that one. But if that's the case, if it is our people, that's pretty. So.
Yeah, they don't know how to say the names.
Okay. Go ahead. Continue.
I just have a few general ones, really. Box out more. We didn't see as much boxing out as we would like. Our rebounds still look decent, but
could have had a lot more.
There were a few back doors, and that's our favorite complaint.
Bad.
Just because it just needs, and this is something I'm not upset about seeing at the beginning of the season, because it does take it's a simple fix to point out. It just takes time.
Remember that the basket.
They just need to be communicating more, because we do play such an aggressive overplay on defense that you just really have to be talking,
Right.
so that like the person who helps on defense, the next person in proximity knows to shift over to cover their spot. So just a little bit more time and working on communication will solve that.
For sure. 100%. And I totally agree with you on that.
So yeah, a few backdoors. We said a few fouls with Dominic, but he's playing aggressive, so happy to see it. We just don't want him to foul out.
Right. 100%. So, and yeah, you probably have more grievances about game stuff than I do, just because I didn't rewatch the game. I'm just trying to remember from what we saw. There was a lot of, again, first game of the year. This is why it's hard to give a lot of grievances after the first game, and especially playing a D3 moving D2 team. But I mean, these are great games to show and expose some weaknesses too. Like, for example, there were a lot of like erratic passes that turned into turnovers.
There was at least one bounce pass in the lane, which is always a no-no. Always a no-no. But I know who did it as soon as they did it. We're like, why did I do that?
Correct. And there were a few miscommunications on plays, but again, that is to be expected. It's the first game of the year. And the other thing that impacts this is the fact that there were so many substitutions. I mean, if you're looking at the stats, literally, like we said earlier, every single person played, and there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players in double-digit time. That's a lot of minutes, and that's a lot of people in and out of the game. Boom, 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 boom. We know Coach Keller subs, like, again, so often we get that. But even in the beginning of the season, when he's trying to figure out who works best with who, rotation-wise, you know, it's almost like hockey, trying to figure out what lines are the best and who works the best with each other on the court at the same time. Again, understandable, but that also is going to cause a lot of miscommunications and turnovers because people are just not where they are supposed to be in terms of plays, right?
Yeah, totally. We always say that it's a double-edged sword. It's a strength and weakness, because it's and later in the season it will become higher in the strength column and lower in the weakness column to have that deep of a bench and that flexibility. At the beginning, it is difficult, and it's a growing period because, like you said, he's trying to see who does best at what position and which players have better chemistry together, XYZ, yada yada. But until then, you know, and a lot of the guys that are new to, they're learning a completely new system, could be completely different from the one they came from. They're learning new plays, and then having to know multiple spots and positions to each one. It is a lot. So to be expected at this point.
It really is. And that's why, like I said, it's not a huge deal for me right now, but down the road, it could potentially be a problem. But we'll wait. The other grievance I have is not necessarily like a game note, is more so just it felt weird, because I don't know if it's because it was a double header and they just didn't do everything that they did last year in terms of like pregame, like in-game and post-game things, or they're just changing things and just not really, or feeling things out. I don't know, because there's been so much turnover in the athletic staff, and there's a new AD and there's new people in charge of everything. There was a lot of things that didn't happen. There was no pregame like spirit tunnel. I don't know. I don't think there was one for the women either, because they posted a video of them running out and there was no fans in the tunnel. So that was kind of strange. We were just so used to doing the fan tunnel and going on the court and doing all that. They didn't do that. So that was strange, but again, don't know. And then there were not a lot of in-game like video interactions with the fans. Like there was no like dance cam. There wasn't like a the Lion King cam. There wasn't there wasn't a lot of in-game video stuff. And then of course at the end there was no post-game player of the game announced. I mean, of course, they sang the school song and everything, but yeah. So that was kind of weird. I totally just remembered one of my feats of strength, but I'll have to pin it and come back to it at the end when we talk about the game summary. But yeah, so that was a kind of a weird feat of strength for me, or not feat of strength, but a grievance, because it was just strange. It wasn't. The other thing too was just, I know a lot of people were complaining about there not being a lot of people in the stands, like for example, for the guys game or the girls game, and then of course leading to the guys game. But you have to understand, like, it's a Monday night. I understand that there's not much else going on a Monday night in Nacogdoches, but for the girls game at 5:00, people are just getting off of work. Like, they're getting off of work, going home, maybe eating dinner, and then coming to the game. So you gotta. Plus, not everybody's used to having basketball games on a Monday night. Like, it's different.
Yeah,
this is very new for everybody. It totally might have slipped their mind or forgot. So I will let the one game slide. But from now on, know that most likely most of our games are going to be on Saturdays and Mondays. There's only a few I think there's only one game on a Tuesday. I think there's one game on a Thursday. But other than that, Southland Conference games are going to be on Saturdays and Mondays. So, and Kyle makes a good point. It's Monday plus the level of competition equals low interest. It's so true. Now, if we were playing like McNeese on the Monday night, different story. So yes, good point. I mean, not very many people know about the University of Dallas. No offense to the University of Dallas.
Yeah.
To be fair, I didn't even know it was a university until.
Yeah.
So that's the end of mine.
That's all I had to.
Okay, cool. So moving on to game summary. So one word to describe the entire game. Jax.
In Dickie V's voice. Baby. It's awesome, baby.
I love it.
That's how I felt after the game.
Yeah. Just happy to have it back, right?
So happy.
So I mean, it's your little headline down there. CBB is back, baby. I totally agree. So my one word to describe the game has nothing to do with the game itself, but I want to give a quick shout out to my word is Greg. So that has nothing to do. I know this has nothing to do with the team, but has everything to do with just basketball in general and the podcast. So we lost one of our amazing supporters, a Lumberjack alum. He's been with us since the beginning of our podcast. He's bet on our stuff that we put into the
alumni auction.
The auction. He won stuff 1 year from us. He's always been a huge supporter of our podcast and just us in general. A great man, a great lumberjack, an alum and father, friend, husband, all the things. And so I wanted to dedicate this win and this game and this season to Greg Durham. Honestly, cancer sucks. Monday was really emotional for me because that was the day I found out that he passed away, and I did not know that. I had literally just talked to him like a few weeks prior. And so, yeah, it was really hard not to okay, I'm not going to cry now. It was really hard not to cry during the game because he would have been there most likely watching the team if he was still with us. So, really happy we got the win for him, and I hope we continue to win for Greg because he'll be watching and waiting. So to watch to see what happens.
Well said.
I know. Our sweet Greg. Let's see, Kyle. I would like to see next year SLC go to Thursday, Saturday, and maybe some Monday games. I know SLC wants a couple of ESPN. Yeah. So obviously not Kyle. I don't know why the Facebook users aren't popping up with their names. So sorry, people. But yeah, so Monday is a weird night, but I know why they did it, just because there's not a lot of other games on. So the potential for exposure and TV time is a lot higher.
Yeah.
So I get it, but yes, it is a weird night to watch college basketball.
It is odd, but I do like it because if they're both home games, I can have one trip to NAC and save myself some driving.
It's very true. So it is good for you, 100%. Okay, so wrapping things up. What's coming up?
Sorry, not Sunday. Or it is Sunday.
It is Sunday.
Gosh. Okay, I'm gonna get it together.
It's okay.
By the time we're done, we're playing Drake again on Sunday at 1 p.m. there. So catch it on streaming on ESPN2 or whatever it's on. I don't know. I don't have the schedule up.
I would assume it's on Plus, but maybe if it's televised, I mean, I honestly don't know. I would assume that you can watch it on our ESPN Plus, but if not, maybe Drake is
some type of ESPN streaming, I'm sure. I just don't know if it's 2 or Plus.
Maybe it's on the schedule. Let me look real quick. I have the website still pulled up. If it'll load. There we go. It says ESPN Plus. Yeah, so easy. So yeah, this Drake game is I was going to say a repeat of last year. That would have made no sense. So we played Drake last year. For those who don't remember, we went to the Grand Caymans for their MTE tournament and played Drake last year in that tournament and won. So kind of excited to have a repeat, a rematch with them. Not necessarily a rematch, but you know what I'm saying. Interesting. We'll see how it goes. I don't know what kind of team they're bringing back from Drake. So obviously our team looks very different from what we had last year. A lot of new players, a lot of new people. So it'll be our first real big test of the season right out of the gate. Boom. Second game of the year. So we'll see how it goes. I'm interested to watch and see how the guys do and how they rise to the occasion and challenge, because Drake is no slouch.
Yeah, no, me too. I'm excited to see, and it's going to be tougher having it be a road game for us, but a home game for them. And the Caymans, it was neutral territory, so it's a little different.
Exactly. And Drake is in Iowa, so it might be a little chilly. But definitely not as cold as Oregon's going to be when we go to Oregon next month.
Yeah.
Which we really need to get on.
Yeah, we got to get on that.
We've been slacking.
Number one on the list.
We've been busy, but yeah, we're going to have to figure all that out soon. But yeah, so playing a Drake on Sunday, like Jacqueline said, and the next home game is on Tuesday night, November the 12th, 6:30.
Laterno.
And then right after that, we go to Arkansas State in Jonesboro, Arkansas on Saturday the 16th at 2:00. So Jacqueline, we're going to try to go to that. There's a lot going on in town that weekend. I don't know if it's going to happen, but yeah, we're going to do our damnedest to do that. But right after that's over, we have the Axum Classic presented and sponsored by eTech. And that'll be home. And we're excited to have 3 home games in a row versus really good mid-major teams. So excited for that.
Yes.
Well, I don't know much about Presbyterian, but the other 2, yes.
Yeah.
Excited for all that. So yeah, back in business, baby. It's been an hour. We're wrapping things up here. Excited for the rest of the season, see how it shakes out. And we'll probably be doing more Friday morning, afternoon podcasts because it's just easier. And we seem to have a lot of people watching at
Really?
Friday. Yeah, there's like 20 plus people on. So it was shocked.
Thanks for joining us.
Maybe Friday afternoon or early afternoon is the time to do it. But yeah, so make sure you're just following with us on social media, along with our journey and all season, of course, Instagram, Facebook, and X/Twitter. And of course, all of our podcasts are available on YouTube, and you can listen to the audio on anywhere you get podcasts. So Spotify, Apple, etc. But you just don't get to see our pretty faces, unfortunately. I know. 2 more reminders. 3 more reminders, and then we're done. 1, obviously, you can see it scrolling at the bottom. Please make sure that you consider supporting the Sawmill NIL Collective. For as little as $10 a month, you can help out our men's basketball team with things that they need, money that goes straight to the players. And it's not just, hey, take this money and run. It's they get this money for going out and volunteering in the community and being upstanding gentlemen and helping out different organizations around town and volunteering. So it's not just, a cut check every single month. Here you go. It's, merit-based based on the things that they do. And it's a really great organization. And I really hope that you consider, again, $10 a month. That's like 1 cup of coffee. So I think $10 is doable for people. So that's one reminder. The other reminder is to consider purchasing a MyPlate. So it's scrolling along the bottom. If you decide that you want to be as cool as Jacqueline and I and get some vanity plates, why not get vanity plates that help support your lumberjack athletics? So it's an easy and fun way to support SFA athletics as a whole. When you buy a MyPlate, about 50% of that money goes to SFA athletics. So it's a very cool, purple, Stephen F. Awesome way to support your lumberjacks and lady jacks throughout the season. And you can get different, year subscriptions, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year. Obviously, all of those have different levels and different price points. So join the cool purple plate posse and get some amazing lumberjack plates. And then the last reminder is if you're in need for some more SFA gear and want to go to our store and look and see at all the designs that we have currently on the website, you can go to any of our social media pages and find our store on our website. And we have all of the things. We have t-shirts, we have hoodies, we have sweatshirts, we have hats, we have stuff like things, like mounts,
whatever.
Literally any type of merch you can think of, it's on our store. And we have some pretty fun designs. You'll see us wearing them throughout the season as well. I probably need to go on there and order some more stuff for myself. Because
I have some items on my wish list. Yeah.
So I buy things for myself.
Things too for this.
Yeah, exactly. We're our own supporters of our own store too. So if you need some new SFA gear and lumberjack basketball stuff, please consider purchasing stuff from our store as well as, other places as well. But all that money that goes to that store for us goes to our travel budget. So if you want to see us travel to places and do fun content like this, that's how we get support. So we would appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Because it's expensive to support the Jacks.
Yeah.
This ain't cheap, baby.
Mm-mm.
It's not. Okay. I think that's it. That was all the reminders I had. Anything else, Jacks?
Nope.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you guys and gals, whoever's watching, so much for tuning in. We appreciate you so much. We're excited for another amazing, fingers crossed, season of lumberjack basketball. And we can't wait to experience it all with you. So
Can't wait.
Hope you have a wonderful day. Have a good weekend. Hope everybody has fun plans. And as always, Axe and Jacks.
With Alex and Jax.